client base, and it's just an elaborate smokescreen for a well-planned heist.
What? Are you... Look, where do you people get your information, huh? What kind of news organization is this? Oh, no, that's right, yeah, one that's owned by VistaCorp.
Mr. Lang, news in detail for the past 2 decades.
Kickoff of the Stark Expo, where Tony Stark has just walked off stage. Don't worry if you can't make it down here tonight, because this expo goes on all year long.
Yes, but the fundamentals of the company are still very, very strong, despite the event in Monaco.
So you're saying that Tony Stark's position
Where is he?
He doesn't want to be disturbed.
He's downstairs.
Rumors continue to swirl about a violent clash between forces of the U.S. military and an unknown adversary on the campus of Culver University earlier today.
Huge, like Hulk.
Yeah. McGee, who happens to be a reporter for the campus paper, captured this on his cell phone. Further search for the mysterious Hulk was postponed by powerful thunderstorms in the Smoky Mountain National Forest.
Someone we trust.
The documents released from S.H.I.E.L.D. show clear...
We made a list of S.H.I.E.L.D. bases we believe are secure.
But it's still unclear who should be held accountable. Many of its leaders have vanished. Today, world leaders are scrambling for answers after S.H.I.E.L.D. was crippled by a series of devastating attacks.
I can't feel it.
Tim, I'm gonna need you to trust me now, buddy. It's gonna be okay.
With the Nazi Party.
The issue of more government control and transparency when it comes to our superpowered citizens is going to continue to be a hot-button topic, especially in the wake of what we all saw happen in that part of the world. His allegations about VistaCorp's participation in illegal activity split public opinion right down the middle. After serving just 3 years of a 5-year sentence in San Quentin, Scott Lang is set to be released this week.
Authorities have cornered the suspects in the bombings that occurred earlier this evening in Hell's Kitchen, believing they may have taken a police officer hostage. While they haven't released the name of the police officer in question, they have let us
Matt,
know
it's Karen. Again?
Without being in public. But I felt the need to speak up for this city that I love with all my heart. No one should have to live in fear.
Not bow down to their campaign of coercion and intimidation.
How do you respond to reports that you knew the tenement was unsafe?
That is accurate. That's why we offered a substantial sum. We should never let good people get swallowed up by the city.
Senator, how do you respond to allegations that you accepted payoffs from Wilson Fisk? I have done nothing wrong. Comment. Other prominent figures connected to
U.S. Air Force Brigadier General Glenn Talbot. S.H.I.E.L.D.
Sir, this wasn't us, was it?
No, this is Hydra looking for revenge. Best guess, Daniel White.
Belgium will never accept this proposal. It destroys the very idea of citizens' rights.
Mr. Beckers, if you want to welcome S.H.I.E.L.D. at your borders with open arms, be my guest. But this infestation needs to be exterminated.
Suicide of Massachusetts Senator Christian Ward. FBI sources claim that while the
Things could be different, you know. Sometimes anarchy.
Manhunt is underway. Authorities are asking witnesses to come forward with any information that could lead to the capture.
The world's been a little twitchy since Sokovia fell out of the sky.
Good evening. I'm here tonight to address growing concerns among our citizens of the threats we face that are not of this world. I don't need to remind people of the catastrophes in New York.
He didn't just disappear. Unless he did. Well, he can't do that, can he? Throw it up on my screen.
Public feud with Tony Stark and the Avengers over the controversial Sokovia Accords. Ratified by 117 countries, the Accords place the Avengers under UN authority and provide a framework for the registration and monitoring of all enhanced individuals.
I'm Christine Everhart. This week on a special edition of Newsfront, the world the hero leaves behind. What is the final cost of intervention from groups like the Avengers? Who do they answer to in the wake of their actions? Joining me on the program is from New York to Sokovia, we have witnessed a series of catastrophic events that have threatened the safety of the entire planet. While these crises were resolved as the result of the noble actions of Steve Rogers, Tony Stark, and others, cities like Johannesburg are still on the mend due in large part to the tactical response of these heroes.
Facial recognition software confirms the man you are looking at is indeed Frank Castle. He is alive.
Stay tuned as this story develops.
It appears Frank Castle, also known as the...
He's a monster. Frank Castle got lost somewhere along the way. I don't know who this guy is. Well, tracking him down is priority one. I just want to help any way I can. Luckily, I have a very close relationship with law enforcement.
We can no longer pretend like the inhuman threat doesn't exist. Each and every one of them is a lethal weapon, and now those weapons are aimed directly at us. Make no mistake, this is an act of war. Unless we take a stand and fight back now while we can.
And that old friend is S.H.I.E.L.D.
This case at all? I'm Detective Misty Knight with the 29th Precinct. I'm here to answer your questions.
Is the massacre in Brooklyn connected to recent Jamaican violence in Harlem?
What about the man who attacked Luke Cage? Is he involved in this?
The word from the witnesses we've spoken with is that Daredevil, Hell's Kitchen's renowned vigilante,
tell us that at this moment they don't know the whereabouts of Daredevil or whether this criminal act captured several people.
We understand. We have all been lied to. Right? We've been manipulated by a sociopath who doesn't care about the truth, or about who he hurts, or about anyone other than himself. Last night, Wilson Fisk tried to
has elected not to indict Wilson Fisk. But this office, under my leadership, will pursue every lead, every piece of evidence that leads us to uncovering the truth, wherever we may find it.
We'll continue to cover this breaking news story as events unfold.
Exactly what happened is still a mystery. We do know that body has been identified as Destiny Gonzalez. If you know anything about Destiny Gonzalez, you're being urged to...
Interest in the death of Destiny Gonzalez. As you may recall, the Gonzalez death was ruled an accidental drowning. Now the LAPD is calling it a homicide. Anyone with news regarding this case should contact the police immediately.
Mr. Dean, please! We'd like to thank you and the city for your support. As for questions regarding our children and their safety...
Come on, honey. We can talk to the press after we see our daughter.
Yeah.
Media should be looking into. It's their parents. The leaders of Pride are highly accomplished professionals, not to mention what their philanthropy has done for the city. Trust me, I've seen proof.
Breaking news. This morning, an earthquake with a seismic reading of 5.3 hits Los Angeles.
Who has escaped from a secure hospital facility and is suspected of several murders. NYPD says Russo is dangerous and should not be approached. Russo was last seen wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt around 7 p.m.
Warnings were right.
Except for the lighthouse, Mac. Anyone? Mac, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Talk to me. What's going on?
Things have gone a little crazy.
Yeah, I know. It's all over the news.
No, Talbot.